Hey, welcome to Favorites and Fails, where we tell you what we like and what we don't like about the bikes that we've been riding. What we have here is Yamaha's FZ-09. It's a naked bike. As you can see, it costs about $9,000, and it's one of Yamaha's very best sellers. You might recognize it because it's made quite a few cameos in various MC Garage videos, which is to say we've had this bike in the shop for quite a while, and that's given me a lot of time to ride it and to develop some very strong opinions. So might as well start with my favorites. Number one on my list of favorites has got to be the engine. It's an 847cc inline triple that Yamaha developed specifically for this bike when it came out in 2014. And it is honestly one of my favorite engines out there. It's got a ton of torque, it's got a ton of horsepower, about 100 on the dyno, and it's just got this character that is so raucous and so aggressive, it just makes this bike a ton of fun to ride. So whenever you twist the throttle, it equates to a smile on your face. Next up on my list of favorites is something that's easy to overlook, and that's the switches and controls on the FZ-09. They're super compact, and that gives the whole cockpit area a very supermoto-like feel. There's not a lot of extra buttons, there's not a lot of big controls taking up a lot of space, and that kind of reminds me of either a supermoto or a race bike, which makes it feel more aggressive and more fun to ride. That does bring us to the number one fail on this bike, and it's honestly my least favorite thing, and it's the frickin' horn switch. It's this random button way off to the right that's hard to hit. For me, a horn is something that I use in emergencies. It's when someone's coming over on me on the freeway, and I need to know that muscle memory is gonna take my thumb directly to that button. And even after riding this motorcycle for the better part of a year, I still miss it every time. Another thing I really like about the FZ-09 is its lenient traction control system. Traction control is a new feature for the 2017 model, and it's got 3 levels. And when you're in level 1, which is the most lenient, it actually allows you to do power wheelies. So you can roll the throttle on, lean back, and this thing will loft the front wheel, which is obviously a lot of fun and something the FZ-09 is good at. But what I really appreciate is that the traction control will still do its job. So if you're doing a wheelie and you go across a painted line or a manhole cover or some sand and the tire starts to spin, the TC will kick in to save your bacon. Moving to the back of the bike, we have a couple of areas where I think Yamaha kind of failed. First, you got these floppy, goofy turn signals that have been on so many models for the past decade. I swear Yamaha must have a container full of these things and they just got to burn through them before they can update the styling. Next is this fender, which is mounted to the swing arm, kind of like Ducati did with the Multistrada. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to take it off of the rear of the bike here so it kind of looks clean and racy, but I don't like the way it looks, and it makes removing the rear tire a serious pain in the ass. While we're on the topic of failures, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the throttle response and the suspension action on the FZ-09. When this bike came out in 2014, both of those areas were huge chinks in this otherwise fantastic motorcycle's armor. With that being said, Yamaha has gone through a lot of effort to improve them. For 2017, they put a new fork on that's fully adjustable. They remapped the ECU so the throttle response is better, but the shock is still the same old flaccid unit it's always had, and overall, suspension calibration and throttle response aren't great, but they are improved. But it's kind of hard to classify those things as failures when the all-in package is only $9,000, which brings me to my final favorite, which is this motorcycle as a whole. It's one of the most rambunctious, most affordable, and most fun bikes you can get. All right, guys, there you have it. That is a snapshot of my favorites and my fails on the 2017 FZ-09. If you like this little picture of the good and the bad on particular bikes, make sure you subscribe and check back because we got lots of motorcycles to ride and lots of opinions.